As a musical, Hazbin Hotel is kinda mid. I lied, it is mid. When I first wrote the script for my Hazbin Hotel revisit video, the original plan was to add a section where I fully go over the songs within the show. I of course scratched that out because at the time I couldn't go in depth as much as I wanted, and it was just a small section of an already large video. So now, we're here. So there are 16 or so songs divided among the 8 episode runtime of season 1 of Hazbin Hotel. I decided to take a look at a few songs that are the epitome of my issues with the music within Hazbin Hotel. I also made a tier list ranking the songs based on how well written they are in reference to the plot. But before that, I want to make this clear. I'm not saying the songs are bad. On their own, they're a well comprised piece of music, and they're incredibly catchy. And with an A-list cast like this, that's to be expected. I'm just looking at the songs through a storytelling perspective. So you might be asking, why does this matter? Well, because Hazbin Hotel is a musical, meaning that their songs are used to progress not only the story, but the arcs of the characters singing them. It serves as a way for the audience to become emotionally attached to the story through song, because frankly, music in and of itself is an emotional medium. I'll say it right here, I am not a musical buff, meaning that I don't spend my free time watching musicals. I've watched some, but I doubt they're respected within the musical genre itself. However, I do watch other shows that incorporate songs within their storytelling. A prime example, Steven Universe. See, Steven Universe does a great job of not forcing any songs into an episode. Not only that, but you can look at each major song and see beyond just its musical enjoyment. Meaning that as a viewer, you can see the story progress naturally and coherently through the music. A few examples off the top of my head are of course Stronger Than You, one of the most iconic songs from the franchise, and Other Friends. Both songs do a great job of either establishing a new character within the story or allowing the viewer to understand what's going on and where the story is heading. All without the song conflicting with the narrative the show has already established. And also does a great job as serving as an emotional payoff, supporting the theme of what the singer or character represents within the context of the story behind the song. The point is that these songs are more just your average evening tunes. They're elements of storytelling. That's what Hazbin Hotel lacks. They focus on the enjoyment of the songs rather than the writing behind them. And now, I'm going to do whatever it takes to explain why. Whatever it takes is bad from a storytelling perspective. Before I continue, yes, I understand what the song represents within the story of Hazbin Hotel. And I get that it was supposed to be a setup for what's to come next. Speaking of which, next we'll be talking about Out for Love. But of course, before we talk about that song, let's stay on track. Just because you're able to explain it, it doesn't make it good. It could have been the most well-intended plot point, but it was executed horribly. The first reason is that in episode 3, we meet Carmilla Carmine, who is an angelic weapons dealer and overlord of hell alongside the V's and Alistairs and so others. So okay, we're cooling right now. During the overlord meeting, we get a great song that actually works well for the plot, which is of course Respectless. What the song does is provide just the right amount of information for the viewers to engage with. We see how the V's are perceived within the realm of hell, especially through Velvet, because this is also her first showcase as a standalone character without appearing next to Vox and Valentina. So overall, a good first impression. We're able to tell that the V's are really the new niggas on the block. I could get around that. Basically, the next generation of overlords with a lot of influence on the population of hell, but with no respect for the prior traditions of how things should be run. These traits are picked up and shown through how Velvet acts, and it's not directly told to the audience in a spoon-fed way. The point is that it feels natural. All things, wherever it takes, isn't. My main gripe is that Carmilla Carmine is a complete fucking random. And I say this for the reasons of that her character is heavily intertwined with some of the series' most important plot-defining moments. Frankly, her character is so important to the plot of Hazbin Hotel, but the series does not properly flesh her out. I'm not saying she should be a main priority, especially since she's a side character and not even part of the main cast. But the way the series uses her, it feels more like a plot device than a character within the plot. Her part in Whatever It Takes goes on to explain how she would do whatever it takes to protect her daughters in hell. Daughters we didn't know she even had until the very mentioning of this and within her song. And let's take a time out. What do you mean daughters? I thought sinners are not even capable of having children. And let's make the assumption that she just died with her daughters when she was human, right? It would be so great if the show tells us or show us any information that can help understand her predicament, but no. But let's get back on track, right? The general gist of this song is that she as a mother were killed for her children, right? That's the point. That's not even my main concern. My main problem is that outside of this song, we're never shown Carmilla actually displaying her love or care toward her daughters. And realistically, we just can't because the season is 8 episodes long. And once again, I understand pacing was a big concern for the production of this season. But then again, as a product, you can't just shoehorn a song into an episode expecting me to resonate with it. And besides the lack of proper build-up and presentation and display of Carmilla's relationship with her daughters, I completely hate how it was revealed that she was the one who killed the exorcist. You know, the same exorcist whose death was a catalyst for Adam to move the extermination date within the next 6 months. Carmilla played an integral role in the overarching story of Hazbin Hotel, but the way the series speeds past this moment makes it clear she's only being used as a convenient tool to push the story forward. And with a character this important, the fact that she only appears in 2 major episodes is so frustrating. The series had already set up this mystery around who killed the angel, only for it to be revealed 2 episodes later to someone who had no proper setup within the plot itself. And even with the song, it adds absolutely fucking nothing, because beyond wherever it takes and out of for love, we still don't see any real display of love Carmilla supposedly has for her daughters outside of the incident with the angel. And it's really crazy, right? Because I keep hearing this constant criticism of how vivziepop cannot write female characters, and the more I'm thinking about it, it's so fucking true. Because real shit, look at Vaggie's performance and Carmilla's performance within a duet of this song. Take the characters, put them on paper, their whole existence boils down to one fucking trait, which is that Carmilla allegedly loves her daughters and Vaggie loves Charlie. That's it. There's nothing more to it. But we're going to continue this with Out for Love. So Out for Love is mainly about Carmilla teaching Vaggie that angelic exorcists aren't really well-trained fighters. Instead of fighting out of hatred and vengeance, how about you should fight for the people you care about, aka love. The basic love trumps all trope, right? I'm not mad at it. It's a basic message that could have worked. So why didn't it? As I said before, the problem is that up until this point, Vaggie's identity is centered around loving Charlie. That's basically what it boils down to. And what's worse is that the entire song ruins the established world building of Hazbin Hotel. We have Vaggie going to Carmilla, who is supposedly the only one in hell who knows how to kill or even harm an angel, even though Vaggie herself is one and is a crippled. Not only that, but according to Adam, the leader of said angel army, Vaggie was one of their stronger fighters. So it makes no sense that neither Vaggie nor the other angels knew they were susceptible to their own weapons. And why is Carmilla telling Vaggie she needs to fight for her love for Charlie? Up until this point, Vaggie has done everything she can to not only protect, impress, and show her love for Charlie every step of the way. She's the last person who needs to be told to fight for someone she cares about. And you can tell how the show tries to make Vaggie seem like a hothead like in a pilot, but I don't know, she's like way mellowed out in this series. And then again, I asked the question, why is someone like Carmilla this important to the plot? And why is it overlooked? She killed the angel that led to Adam declaring another extermination. That's fucking huge. And yet, after killing the angel, how did one of the V's manage to retrieve the head? Think about it. Carmilla knew that if the general population of hell found out that angels could be harmed or even killed, it will cause immediate pushback, which can lead to war between heaven and hell, which puts her daughters at even more risk. So would it not be in her best interest to erase all possible evidence? She has the time, influence, money to do it, but you know what happened instead? Adam and Luke was able to retrieve the body, confirming their suspicions of their own being killed, and somehow one of the V's ended up in possession of the decapitated head. That makes no sense. The entire situation feels rushed and unexplained, especially something as important to the overall plot. Beyond its surface level, Out for Love fails to follow the current story Hazbin Hotel is trying to set. When you engage with it critically, it falls apart from a storytelling perspective. And by the way, Vaggie gets her fucking wings in this song. It just happened. I don't know why it just happened. It wasn't even like subtly explained why she couldn't use her rings before. Both Wherever It Takes and Out for Love are prime examples of why the music in Hazbin Hotel is horrible for the integrity for Hazbin Hotel's story. There are other songs I've ranked based on how I feel about them and relative to the plot, and only a few of them did well in the terms of storytelling. It seems like vivziepop is more focused on the theatrics of her songs rather than creating a coherent narrative that supports her story. Like I said earlier with Steven Universe, none of these songs give a proper emotional payoff, nor do they give proper information that a viewer can interpret to push the story forward. Instead, it just adds to the mess which is Hazbin Hotel. Remember, these are my opinions. You might like these songs, and you might even disagree with me, but this is a hill I'm willing to die on. There are other songs I felt are also victim to this, and I'm planning to make follow-up videos on this. But for right now, Wherever It Takes and Out for Love go straight to the does nothing for the plot category. But hey, if you like this video, just like and subscribe for more content in the future. I'm your host, Take It, and we do a little reviewing around here. Peace out.